There have been a lot of hits and misses as far as free agents go in AEW history, but I don't think there's been any bigger miss than Malakai Black. This is someone who, when he was released from WWE, we all knew was going to land somewhere because he had the promo skills, he was great in the ring, he had charisma, and on top of that, he had a very unique look and presence about him that made him stand out in a world of great wrestlers. So we all knew that he would land on his feet and likely land in AEW. What we didn't know is that he would do just that a month after his release because of some weird things that happened with his contract that made it so he was able to sign just 30 days after his WWE release. And when he debuted, he did so in an astounding manner, not only showing up in a surprising fashion that no one expected, but on top of that, doing it against Cody Rhodes, kicking Arn Anderson in the head, kicking Cody Rhodes in the head, walking away looking like a badass star. And after that moment, he even went on to beat Cody Rhodes in a match clean in the middle of the ring and in a very convincing fashion that had many believing that he wouldn't only be a big star in the company, that he would eventually be the AEW World Champion. You have to remember, this is someone who had everything going for him, and he also had the mystique of being someone who came over from WWE with a bit of lore behind him. This is someone who came in as not only a great wrestler, but someone with the potential to be a great character. However, ever since that moment that he beat Cody Rhodes in Jacksonville, nothing has been the same. He went and did a feud with Pac, which was fine, but it was a transitional feud. He added Brody King to the House of Black. He added Buddy Murphy to the House of Black. They added Julia Hart to the House of Black, who's doing great things now. And we all thought that this was going to be not only a super group that's going to win multiple title belts in the company, but one that was going to dominate the company and propel Malakai Black to even new heights. But it never ended up happening. And everything we've seen since that day, since he beat Cody Rhodes in Jacksonville, has just been filler, for lack of a better term. Outside of the success that Julia Hart has had, there hasn't been much sustained success for anyone in the House of Black outside of a Trios Championship run. But aside from that, we haven't seen much from any of the members, and we really haven't seen Malakai Black shine or even make sense in his promos. This is someone who comes out now and he's just doing feuds for the sake of doing feuds. Before, Malakai Black had a purpose, and that purpose was to make sure that he could get everyone who was in his way for the world title out of his way by playing mind games, by trying to get them on his side and become a warrior in his name. And he did that with Brody, he did that with Buddy, he did that with Julia, but he never was able to do that with anyone else. And he never did anything with this super group that he's put together. His promos are rambly. In a way, he's facing a lot of the same criticisms and frustrations that many people had with Bray Wyatt towards the end of his Eater of Worlds character, but this is even 1,000 times worse than that, because at least back then, Bray had a mission and he was trying to accomplish it. We don't know what Malakai's mission is, and in that respect, AEW has failed. They took someone who should have been a multiple-time champion, whether it was AEW World Champion, whether it was AEW TNT Champion, whether it was the International Championship, it did not matter. This is someone who should have been featured prominently on your card, on your weekly show as a big-time star, and yet we're faced with rumors that he wants to leave the company. Back in 2022 at All Out, many believed that he was leaving the company, and he had a 6-month non-compete that guaranteed his release at some point. He's come back. He's been Collision exclusives largely since he's come back. And even then, the stories that they've been telling, even with FTR, have been stop and go to the point where all momentum is lost. And that shouldn't happen with a talent like Malakai Black. It shouldn't be the case that you have someone this talented, you have someone this charismatic, you have someone who the fans genuinely want to cheer for, and that many people just need a reason to do so. However, AEW managed to drop the ball big time. And in that sense, they wasted one of the best free agent talents they picked up, and they wasted all the momentum they had with this guy the second they brought him in. That win against Cody Rhodes now means absolutely nothing. And it's exactly why now there's rumors that Malakai Black wants to leave, and who could blame him? On top of the WWE being a very different place from when Malakai was released, you also have to factor in that he knows for a fact that right now he is not being used to his fullest potential in AEW. And there's a more likely scenario that that would be the case in WWE. But as far as what happens, I guess we'll see.